So before we get into the meat and potatoes, we're going to have a quick chat about how excited I am about the arrival of my new chair. Going to be doing a video very shortly that's going to be a giveaway, and I'm going to be giving someone the chance to win an iPhone. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do a members-only thing that looks at building channels and helping people themselves to build a YouTube channel if that is what they're into, if that is their bag. And as I move through 2023, I know we have to deal with some horrendous things. I also want to try and further help people who want to do something like this themselves. And yeah, so there will be a giveaway. So keep an eye out over the next few days, 2 or 3 days. Could be later, could be tomorrow. But there's going to be a video, a giveaway. iPhone. Anyway, into the meat and potatoes. So it would appear that as the students are returning to the University of Idaho, they have weapons now. They are arming themselves with mace and flashlights that double up as batons. And as they interview some of the students as they return, they are jokingly stating how they're just going to increase their antisocial behaviour. They do speak of the fact that there is a relief amongst everyone because they have a suspect who has been arrested and someone who they believe is the person who did it. Let's not forget he is innocent until proven guilty. And let's not forget that we have to contemplate whether he did indeed have help. Was there anyone else involved in this crime? Or did Brian Kohberger, if indeed he is guilty, did he just randomly pick this house? Or did someone tip him off that it was a house that needed to be targeted, that he could indeed get into it because the doors were kept unlocked? There's a lot more to this story and elements that we may not ever get to hear about because of the gag order upon it. Who knows? But let's have a quick look together. Here we go. So we try and get rid of me. I'll put me up here. Look. So students return to campuses after grisly Idaho murders armed with mace and flashlights. Despite an arrest in the fatal stabbings of 4 college students, they vowed to stay vigilant and take extra precautions in the new semester. Some students at the University of Idaho will be carrying mace and heavy flashlights when they return to campus this week for a new semester, less than 2 weeks after a suspect was arrested in the murders of 4 fellow students. As they unpacked bags and boxes over the weekend, students at the University of Idaho and Washington State University in nearby Pullman, where the suspect had been enrolled, expressed relief and caution in the aftermath of the arrest following a 6-week search. Brian Christopher Kohberger, 28, was arrested December 30th and charged with 4 counts of murder in the November 13th stabbing deaths of Ethan, Madison, Kaylee, and Xana. At the University of Idaho, where classes begin Wednesday, senior Lucy Self was moving into her on-campus residence less than 10 minutes from the off-campus house where the victims were stabbed to death with what investigators believe was a large fixed-blade knife. There's a picture of Lucy with her mum, Heather. And this was the young girl who, she's a self-described loner, said that despite the arrest, she will take extra precautions during her final semester at the university, including always keeping her flashlight nearby when it's dark. Self's mother, Heather, said she has been anxious about sending her daughter back to campus, even with a suspect in jail. It's because she's an adult and she realises this perhaps may have more attached to it. And look, I want to come off this because at the end of the day, what they're talking about here is the students returning and the fact that they need to remain vigilant. They're going to be having mace and all sorts. But yet we do not hear again, and this is now I've touched on this. This will be the third time I've touched on it. Okay, third time I've touched on this, and this is my point entirely. We don't hear anybody talking about how to prevent this. The prevention of it. We're just still talking about carrying weapons now. What caused this person to target this property? What are we going to do to stop creating people who do this? Maybe instead of carrying mace and flashlights and thinking, well, what we do, we understand this is going to happen again. What I've got something now that I can just shine in their face and blind them and whack them over the head with. That's job done. That's how you deal with it. I'll spray them in the eyes, flash them and bash them. I don't see any news reports, any conversations being had about the potential that we need to do more to look into the people who become the people who do this. So how safe are people if the problem itself is not being taken seriously? We need to take it seriously that there are people out there who need help and the help doesn't exist. The help needs to exist and we need to stop creating monsters. Don't keep allowing monsters to be created and then feel that this is the answer and telling people that we just need to be more vigilant. We should be more vigilant. You need to be. This was being said early on in this case. Well, you should be being more vigilant anyway. No, there hasn't been anything happen here since 2015, but surely you should be walking down the street with one eye looking over your shoulder. Why? Because society knows that monsters exist and nothing's being done to stop it. Don't forget to look under your bed before you go to sleep tonight, because that seems to be the mentality of governments. I'll catch you all in the next one.